Okay, so we already talked about the group A. And concerning the group B, I would say that Barbarian is probably too good compared to the 4 other AIs. Maybe Beginner can do something against Barbarian, but definitely Barbarian should win the group B. That's my pronostic, my bet. I don't know much Games God, so it's gonna be a surprise for me to follow the games. And concerning the group C, I would say that I was really upset after having drawn Tribal, Pharaoh, and Odette all inside of the group C. It's very, very disappointing for me because I am the author of those 3 AIs, and I definitely would have liked to see them playing against other AIs than against each others. And definitely I think that the group D is really, really close. Rehoboom looks really strong, but it's going to be interesting to compare Rehoboom with Juggernaut, which is a classic, very, very strong AI from the AOC version of the game. When I was looking for the last AI to join the competition, because I definitely needed 20 AIs, I just tested randomly Juggernaut, and I was really surprised to see how good it performs in this version. And concerning the other AIs, we all know Eagle's Revenge and its crazy strategy. And Bambi and the General can probably offer great games against each other. And let's see if Bambi, the General, can win against Juggernaut. But well, overall, I think that Rehoboom should win the Group D. So as I said, we will focus today on the Group C, and I was very curious to see the HD AI in action. I think that it should have some limitative capacity because it was made for the HD version of the game, in which many features are missing. So I would say that maybe HD AI can be considered as the weakest AI in this competition, but let's see. So we will watch HD AI versus Odette. For the first match, it's gonna be twice 1v1 with random sieves defined via the program made by Leaf. So we will start with this. Okay, so here we go. The map is gonna be Arabia 2020 version. Which looks to be sweeter for the AIs. The new Arabia map is pretty hard to play for AI, so I preferred for a first competition on the definitive edition version to make something which is a good deal for the AIs. So here we go. We've got Albert the Beer versus Odette. Looking at the map, I would say that Odette has definitely a good map. The main forest is in the back, while the HD AI does have a decent map. Maybe the gold is kind of exposed. but it's maybe the less important resource in the feudal age. The wood being definitely the most important resource to protect. And it does have two big forests in the back, so it might be okay. So as I said, I never tested this AI, the HD version, well, the HD AI. So, and as in CAS, I think that Odette should go for a militia rush if everything is fine. Or sometimes it can switch for range units strategy. And no idea about the HDI. Let's see. Yes, Barbarian Lambs. And Illuminati, for example, can sometimes steal the boar with the scout. So does Barbarian. And Subjugator can sometimes be very boring because if a scout finds the foundation of farms, it will attack the foundation. Okay, promiscutive, interesting. So we can expect something good from HDI. Let's see if Odette makes a good use of the up to be able to defeat this script. Okay, so Albert the Beer is actually researching the opponent. Well, searching the opponent. Sorry for my bad English. And red is in a good position to find blue eventually. Okay, interesting. HD pulled a second mill on the deers this time. Odette found a good position for the lumber camps. Both are in the back. Okay, interesting. They're gonna reach feudal age at the same time with exactly the same amount of villagers. And it's confirmed Odette is gonna go for a militia rush. It's interesting to notice that the second lumber camp is really far from the TC, but I would say that it's in a good position anyway. And okay, interesting. We've got archer range built, so we can expect a bunch of archers because it's actually meaning gold. Okay, so let's go for some actions with 4 militians. Odette is probably researching men at arms. Okay, let's start the harassment. Well, no harassment actually, just because the archers and the skirmishers are just retreating to the TC. Oh, maybe one villager is going to be attacked. That could be the first kill of the game. Or not. Nope. No kill for Odette. Okay, what is gonna do Odette at this point? Okay, we've got one archer range, one defensive tower. That's a lot of skirmishers for blue, at least because it couldn't mean gold. So Odette at least knows that blue does have a lot of skirmishers. So it won't train archers, I guess. We've got one skirm and a bunch of eagles. Eagles should work against blue. We've got one blacksmith for red. It doesn't have fletching. Neither does blue. Blue doesn't have a blacksmith anyway. Let's check the military population for the boss of the players. We've got, well, almost 20 units for blue and 12 units for red. So blue does have military advantage, but it's a bunch of skirmishers. So red shouldn't be scared with its eagles. Regarding the resource, yeah, it's close. We've got black fletching research for red. But blue does have an impressive military population. I think that Odette is just waiting for the castle edge research now. It won't try to attack. And blue stays a bit passive. Well, it does have 30 archers and skirmishers. Blue does have the resources to research castle. Odette is actually researching castle age. So let's see if Odette does take the advantage in the very early castle age. Maybe Odette should have waited a bit more before its attack, at least to have the elite skirmishers. Well, the fight is pretty intense between those skirmishers. It's not very spectacular, but that's a lot of kill. Okay, we've got the elite skirmishers upgraded. That might help Odette. And we've got Botkin Arrow. And once again, HD stays very defensive. Yeah, Odette is actually having 2 TCs. We've got a third archer range. Second TC for blue. In a good spot. Okay, some attack from HD. It does have elite skirmishers, it does have Botkin Arrow. Once again, one fight pretty intense. Okay, maybe a counterattack for that now. At this point, HD doesn't have any more military population, I guess. Oh, we've got one knight. That should help. How many TCs for that? Okay, only, well, we've got 3 TC now for that, which is gonna start to boom. HD stays with 2 TCs. Okay, so let's see some micro. Okay, red is just going for hit and run, a defensive hit and run against the knight. The difference in the score is increasing. I think that it's because the kill ratio is maybe better for that, while it's actually booming maybe better than HD. Let's see this. Yeah, 86 villagers for blue and 70 for blue. Well, we've got two stable that could help, but HG definitely needs to mass more knights. Well, I think that this game should find its end in the early Imperial Age, because HD is actually defending quite well. And Odette is now researching Imperial. And we've got our 3 TC for HD. There is a lake of gold. Well, I would say that overall I'm surprised by HD, which is definitely not a bad AI. Okay, that's starting to be a lot of knights. Okay, 2 castles now for that. Odette which should go for some Eagles warriors now. Well, I think this castle is going to be a doubt castle. its position was pretty ambitious. But well, let's see, because we've got now a lot of knights with chain barding, which is researched. So maybe this castle is gonna be finished. Let's see. And we've got a third castle, which is in a very good spot for that. Okay, I like to see some Kamayuks to counter the knights. Okay, unfortunately we've got that castle which just have never been built. Oh, we've got a G which is gonna be Imperial Age soon. Let's see the population. Okay, Odette is close to be full population soon now. And the Kamayuks are definitely doing the job. And once again, I'm really surprised by HD. The score is still pretty close. And unfortunately, HD is not trained to counter the military composition of its opponent. Okay, so no more military for blue. At least the knights didn't work. It didn't try to counter with some military units able to kill the Kamayuks. So I think that this time it's GG. Okay, siege rams are coming. It's question of time now. Okay, so I will change the score. It's 1-0 for Odette. $200 population for Odette and less than 100 for HD. Okay, we've got some Teutonic Knights, but it's definitely too late. That castle came too late anyway. Okay, GG man. Odette did it. So here we go for the game 2. So here we go. Okay, so at the right of the map we've got HD, and the left we've got Odette. No forest in the back this time for HD. Well, the maps are pretty similar, I would say. That's fair. We've got exposed forest, mill and gold in the back. Odette managed to find its chips quite fast. We need some music. So, as Japanese, what is gonna do Odette? Probably a 2 archers strategy. Blue side, it could be interesting to see maybe a fast castle with the Aztec. It's definitely not impossible for some eagles. So it could be interesting to see how Odette would react to that strategy. So probably maybe you can tell me who developed HD. I would say that it was Aircon and you, but maybe I'm wrong. So if you can confirm, that would be great. Oh, and Interlepus, if you're here, can you tell me if Bambi is gonna play some DE civilizations? And which one, in case? Okay, I think that it won't be a fast castle for blue, because it's actually researching feudal age too fast, with 2 farms only. Maybe we can expect some archers, or why not some eagles in feudal age? That would make sense. Okay, so as Japanese, Odette goes for the same strategies than the game before, as in Chaos. At least the eagles wouldn't work now, regarding the strategy selected by Odette. Hello Afu, you're welcome. Second meal for HD. Yep, it looks like it does it consistently because it already did it in the game before. 1 meal for the butchers and 1 meal for the deer. Let's see if Odette managed to do at least 1 kill. These villagers should die. Definitely this villager will die. And I would say that this militia rush is actually working pretty well, because we see so many villagers which are reacting. Oh, we've got one girl which is pretty weak, and Odette found it. Yep. Okay, this dress is working much better than in the game before. A third villager is dead. A fourth maybe. Nope. Okay, Odette decided to retreat from the archers. That makes sense. Now the reaction should be some archers, well, some skirmishers, which is a good point. Okay, 1 archer range only plus 1 market. I think that Odette is gonna try to go castle fastly in this game. Ah, that's nice. The archers was attacking the lion. to help Odette's military. So Interlepus, can you tell me what DE civilizations Bambi can play? Just to know if I make it play DE civs are only up once for this tournament. At least DE civilizations is a good features for this tournament. Okay, some gold are missing for Odette. It should be able to go castle soon now. While we've got fletching researched by Blue. .37 civilian population for Blue against 44. There is a clear advantage for Odette after this militia rush, which worked pretty well. Well, I'm surprised to see that Odette is gonna attempt an attack with a too few military population compared to Blue. Well, Blue doesn't have much military, so it makes sense. So, as expected, Odette is researching castle. Okay, so we've got a double micro. Archers aside and skirmishers on the side. That's actually working pretty well. At least it makes HD busy while Odette is researching castle. Okay, so let's see what is gonna be the strategy for Odette. This time we've got two stables, so it's gonna be a night rush now in the castle age, with maybe an addition of some skirmishers. Okay, a second outer range. It looks like Odette is now training archers only, no more skirmishers, which might help to train villagers and knights continuously. And Odette maintains the pressure with 3 archers and 2 skirmishers for long. Okay, we've got a second TC for that, which will increase its civilian population compared to HD. And we've got crossbows plus Bodkin arrow. Well, this small army is surviving for a long time now. Okay, let's compare now the population on each side. 45 villagers and 6 military units for HD. 59 villagers and almost 15 military population, which is almost crossbows only, if I'm right. Yep, it doesn't train knights, just crossbows for some reasons. And maybe HD overreacted from the one knight trained by Odette, who is already 3 pikemen, while Odette is not training knights anymore. Oh yes, we've got 1 knight. Okay, so let's go for another assault from Odette, which is moving with 3 TCs now, against how many TCs for HD? Still 1 TC. Okay, so let's see what's going on now. Okay, nice have +1 attack. No defense armor. Okay, so the knight is just leaving the pikeman in the direction of the archers. It was intentional, at least in my script. Oh, in case the crossbows comes on those villagers, it can be a disaster for HD. I guess I don't have university, unfortunately. Nope. So we don't have ballistic. And Odette is researching Imperial Age. Okay, I think that in this second game Odette is more impressive than in the first one. So we should see Arbalest upgrade research as soon as possible in Imperial Age, and I think that the second main unit is going to be champions, the Japanese champions, which are quite good. I think that what I should improve for that is to be more, to send the units on the economy close to the TC when it does have a huge military advantage. I think that the military population, well, the military behavior is quite too passive. Well, it's especially the case with range units, because with infantry or knights, it will enter inside of the enemy's economy. It's just because of the hit and run. Yeah, I agree. Odette is showing something better than the previous game. But I think that it's all about the early game. The munition rush, which worked pretty well for Odette. Okay, so that's it. So let's check the statistics.